Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. I'm in the book doing what I do. I put the big book down, back to the little book. But you know, I like my book, so let's go. I got a nice lesson for you from the book. All right, Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Okay, so let's get that together. And I'm asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. Yeah, that's what I do. And it's rhetorical. And if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. Know thyself. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know they're spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I just did the lesson. What is meditation? Broke it down for you. External, internal breakdown. Now we're going to ask the question, what is the goal of meditation? Good 1-2 punch. Start with the left. Now I'm about to bring the right. I'm about to bring it home. Let's go. First of all, we got 3 stages. The universal soul. That's where God resides. That's where the soul goes. If it's enlightened, it goes back there. Other than that, you got the mind and the senses, which is the body, the physical body. When it goes to sleep at rest, you get the astral body where you're sleeping. You got the astral world when you're unconscious. And you got the due-out, the netherworld. That's the final step before you get to universal. So these are stages you got to go through in life. Yeah, there's level to this thing. You got the physical body, which we're in right now. We live in the physical world, which you are right now. The conscious, we awake, we move and function. When we go to sleep, we transfer into the astral world. When we die, we go into the ultimate, the casual, and the all, be all. If what? Spirit is enlightened, the enlightened spirit goes home. The unenlightened spirit come back here, reincarnation. That's the concept. So now, what's the goal for meditation? To get you to know God before you leave here. Okay, that's the goal. Meditation may be thought of or defined as what? Daily practice of mental exercise. This thing between our ears, the brain. It does one thing. Calculate, calculate, and calculate. Solve problems, solve problems, solve. That's what it's built to do. You can't overwork your brain. You can't overload your brain. You can't overwhelm your brain. That's the most ignorant concept I heard. Oh, my brain hurt. I can't think no more. That's just me. Okay. This thing between your ears is, again, the most complicated piece of machinery ever known to man. All we've been trying to do is duplicate it, and we come in there, but it don't happen. Artificial intelligence don't get it done either. So meditation is the way to go. Watch, I'm going to prove my point. I got here where I am now with everything I'm doing through practice and meditation. I do a lot of study and reading, but the end result is putting it to use. That's where the meditation comes in at. Let's go. Meditation, again, thought to exercise. What? Exercise in mental, disciplines to enable you, the meditator, to now be able to achieve some control over your mind, specifically to stop the negative thoughts and the bad vibrations of the mind due to what? Ignorance and your negative thought perception in your imagination. All those things are bad perceptions that causes you to be unenlightened. It holds you down. You're in a mental prison. Okay? What? Called ignorance. Let's go. But consciousness, there's 3 stages of it. Okay, conscious when you right now, you woke, dealing with me. Unconscious when you go to sleep, and your subconscious is what runs the body when you go to sleep, and even while you're awake. You ain't got to think about the heartbeat. You ain't got to think about the blood flow. Subconscious takes care of all of that. So understand those are 3 stages. And when your wisdom concept, Tahuti, he's great in every one of those phases. That's his thrice great. Okay, he killed me. They talk a lot of symbology. I ain't got a problem with that. But they act like everything gotta be no, make it real simple. Why? Make it easy. They think the masses are dumb anyway. They think the masses is ignorant, and y'all masses keep pointing out that y'all probably are. Why? They keep hiding the knowledge. They ain't sharing it with y'all. They hiding it from you. Now what they're going to do? Information age. They're going to flood you with it. They know you ignorant. You don't know what good knowledge from bad knowledge. Okay, good information from bad information. Now they're just giving it to you all. But one time they was hiding it. See the game being played? I'm trying to get you conscious of that. Then you can do your thing. Why? The game ain't gonna change. You have to. Moving on. That's why they say wake up from the matrix. Get out the system. All that. Think out the box. Sorry, I get excited. Yeah, excuse me. All right. But consciousness refers to what? Awareness of being alive. Right there. We have that. That's our gift. In order to know him, we have to be conscious of ourselves. He gave us that ability to do just that. You see where I'm going with this? I can spend no time on this. I got a whole lot of information to get in, so I can't harp on this. But this is a lesson in itself. I get that, but I ain't here for that. So the idea is consciousness. And watch this. Being aware of being alive and having identity. That's the ego self. It is this characteristic, this gift, which separates what? Humans from the animal kingdom. Okay, that's why we control. Why? Animals cannot be. I did this lesson years ago. I have a flashback right now. Animals cannot become aware of their own existence and ponder the questions such as, well, who am I? I'm a dog. I'm a cat. They don't have to ask that. They know that instinctively. A tree knows a tree. Everything knows it's itself other than us. Why? We had to find out. That's why he gave us the conscious. If he wants to make everybody else, he would have it. He wants us to be unique. Why? To get to him in spirit. That's why. And again, moving on to an animal can't question who I am. Where am I going in life? What do I do and where I come from? Those are questions for animals. Why? They're not conscious. Humans are. And for those who got those questions, human, we have the answers. They cannot write books on history. They can't create elaborate systems like the belief system that they did, or social history based on their ancestry, etc. We know that. Moving on. But consciousness expresses itself in 3 modes. Waking, right now. Dreaming, when we lay down. And they call it the dreamless sleep. That's what's casual. When you go and you come back, you feel so good. That's where you go to die. Oh, that's kind of, no, that's a fact. That's when you go to nothingness, that's where you go. If you get your conscience enlightened, why? That's where it goes to rest for eternity. It ain't on the timetable. God don't work by time. Eternity don't work by time. Immortality don't give a damn about time. We do. Understand that? Moving on. I get caught up in that. Sorry about that. All right, get back to the lesson. Now, they cannot do all these things, but you have 3 modes of consciousness: waking, dream sleep, and dreamless sleep. And however, ordinary human beings, right? Life is only partially conscious. We think we woke because we woke and we had, again, when you are driving, and I remember this experience, I did this when I worked at FedEx about 5-6 years ago. So this is an old lesson. I remember this, I see it all highlighted. When you're driving or walking, and I use this example, I come home and I work overnight, so I come home in the morning. And every now and then, because of muscle memory, I'm driving down the highway, and I'm at exit 19. I'm getting off at 21. I see the sign a mile away. I look up. I'm at exit 22. Okay, so that's my personal experience. And what? Sometimes you lose track of the present moment. That's my point right there. We call it daydreaming, drifting, okay. But all of a sudden, you arrive at your destination, or you overshoot your opponent's destination, in my case. All right? But without being conscious of or aware of the road which you were traveling on, okay? That's scary. All right. We all fell asleep at the wheel. We all done it, okay? I never forget the joke. One of my dudes had passed away because he had a car accident, went to sleep at the wheel, got decapitated. I said, now when he knocked out, he was driving. When he woke up, he was dead. It's a little jokey joke, might be a little morbid, but that's the fact. Moving on, I don't get caught up in that. But my point is, yeah, you can be live one minute, all of a sudden you wake up, oh, you ain't in Kansas no more, Dorothy. Your mind went into what they call automatic mode of consciousness. And once it flips back, whoa, hey, wait, what happened? Out of body experience. Why? The spirit left. The spirit gone. Gotta go. Nah, my man, I don't know what happened. But we ain't getting no oxygen. Ain't nothing going on. I see a little bug right here flying. But yeah, that's what happens. It was bug time. I hate that. Them don't fly. All right, excuse me. But yeah, your mind will go on autopilot, so to speak. But we call it, daydreaming. Okay, fog, trance, whatever you want to call it. All right, but watch this. Now, in other words, you lose lapse of time. Okay, yeah. Now, this form of existence is what most people consider normal, everyday waking consciousness, and is what people consider to be the extent of human capacity to experience or become conscious. The normal state of human consciousness cannot be considered whole. Why? Because if there were no experience of gaps in your consciousness, you wouldn't have those moments of I just, left off. In other words, every instant of your consciousness would be accounted for. That's being aware all the time. That's being on your P's and Q's, being, paranoid, so to speak, okay? There would be no trance-like states wherein one loses track of time or awareness of its own activities, even as they are being performed. Now, in the time of trance or lapse, full awareness or consciousness is not present. Checked out, okay? Otherwise, it would be impossible not to be aware of the passage of time while engaged in the various activities with time convinced. Trance here should not be differentiated from what they call the religious or the mystical form of trance-like state, which is induced through meditation. This ain't that. I don't drive and go into a meditative state. No, I just try it and start nodding out. All right. But as they said above, but it refers to the condition of being so lost. And when I come in here, when I'm doing this, time don't matter. I keep as the clock right there, but I don't care about time. Why? I'm doing something, I'm lose track of time. That's what the clock is there, but I don't pay attention to that. And another clock, they keep record time of other stuff. So I'm in two different dimensions, okay? Real time is there, and my time I'm doing recording time. So I understand the difference between the two, all right? But now watch this. It is used above, okay? Now, it may further be characterized as what they call stunned or bewildered, a condition, or a fog, or how about this? They got the COVID, they got a thing called COVID fog or some nonsense, or stupor, or befuddlement, the daze, muddled state of mind. All those is haze in the mind, ain't really clear, okay? Gotcha. But most everyone has experienced this condition in some point or another, one way at a time, we got it. What most people consider to be a wake state of mind in which life is lived in reality is really only a fraction of the total potential consciousness which a human being can experience. Perfect example. When you're awake, you're conscious. Okay, you an actor. When you go to sleep, your consciousness goes somewhere else. Now you believe the dream state is real. If you are a meditator or a proficient yogi, you do what we call lucid dreaming. I know I'm in the dream state. So I'll have fun when I go to sleep. I have fun. Why? Because I pretty much control the dream. Then I'm in the dream. That's years of practice. Trust me. You're going to wake up, I can levitate, I can lucid dream. No, it takes practice. Okay. But that's what the mind can do. When you train it, it get used. So now instead of my 1/3, that waking time, and then that 1/3 sleeping time, and that 1/3 I use for something else, I can take that 1/3 sleeping time and combine it with my 1/3 waking time. I get 2/3 of my life living. Even when I'm asleep. Why? Because the brain's still working. You just ain't aware of it. That's why. I know a little deep for some people, but yeah, that's why I am. But the state of automatic consciousness is pretty much ignorance. It's the characteristic that is what? All mental distractions. You can think about something else. You're doing something, think about something else. Okay, that's walking and chewing gum. But a lot of times, if you ain't good at it, you might not want to do that. Okay? Why? Sometimes it's restless and it exhibits externalization of your thought process. You see it, but you're not seeing. And when you hit that automatic state of mind exists through what? Your emotion. Sometimes we get mad. We just get Just don't say nothing, just go crazy. Okay, that's emotion driven. Again, emotion, an action done emotion never ends well. Okay, now, emotions such as your desire, your anger, hatred, which engender what? Desires of the mind. When you're doing one thing and the emotions are driving you, it's hard to function, it's hard to focus, it's hard to do what you need to do with a clear conscience inner mind. Why? Your emotions got you agitated. Something done pissed you off. So my whole day is thrown off. Why? Because somebody said something to you, did something you didn't like. So now your whole day is messed up. You crazy. But we do that and we go through that. Watch this. But desires of the mind, in which in turn causes what? More movement, more distractions, and delusions, and the lapse of what? Or gaps in the human consciousness due to what? Your emotional outrage. In this condition, it does not matter how many desires are fulfilled. The mind will always be distracted and agitated, and it will never be able to discover what they call peace of mind or contentment. It's always worrying about what you didn't do, what you might do, what you can't do, what you haven't. That's an agitated mind. Meditation takes that away. Why? Because you block all that out. You flush it out. Anything that have you, get rid of it. Why? I ain't carrying stuff from yesterday. Why? It ain't no good. Get rid of it. Simple. A computer, the same thing. Too much information. Got to get rid of some of it. I got to delete some of my show. Why? I ain't got no storage room. Delete it. My man, you crazy? It's just information. Moving on. Okay. But it's hard to have peace of mind with an agitated mind. That's what they're saying. A distracted mind, an uneasy mind will never find peace. If the mind were what? Under control. Meaning what? Meaning if you were to remain fully aware and conscious of every emotion of your feelings, control your thoughts and of your emotions, the ego self in your mind, when at all time, at any given time, maintain your cool, hold yourself together, no matter what's going on around you. I've gotten to the place now where you can call me names, you can get out of pocket. I'm not going to entertain that. Okay, that's having me together. I'm nothing to do with you. I can't control the situation. I can control myself in the situation. That's what my philosophy has taught me. And living this lifestyle, I'm getting better at that, and I like that. It would be impossible for you to be what? Swayed, swooned, or deluded by what? Your own thoughts into the what state of relative unconsciousness or unawareness. I'm always knowing what I'm doing. If I'm functioning, I'm awake. I'm knowing what I'm doing. Some people just walk through the motions. That's auto-conscious right there, right? So just ordinary, yeah. Therefore, it is said that those who do not have their minds under control are what? Not fully awake. That's what I said with conscious knowledge of self. That's waking you up. Why? A lot of us ain't fully awake. They just saying that right there. Perfect example. If you don't have knowledge of self, you ain't fully awake. You woke and fully, but if you don't know you, you're not fully awake. And what happened? That means you're not fully awake or conscious of your human being, yourself. That means you're ignorant of yourself. A fact. Not a disrespect, just a fact. Wrap it up with this. Meditation and yoga philosophy are disciplines that you can practice and follow, which are directed toward increasing one's awareness. Awareness or your consciousness can only be increased. How? When your mind is in a state of what? Peace and harmony, not agitated and worried about a whole bunch of stuff that you probably can't control anyway. When you're ignorant of the mind, how to control it, you all over the place. Simple as that. Meditation teaches you how to focus and concentrate. I gave that. I've done a whole book on that also. Moving on. Again, I'm a yogi. Thus, the spiritual disciplines of meditation, which are part of a yoga or primary means of what? Controlling one's mind and allowing you, the individual, to mature psychologically and spiritually, not religiously. You want proof. You want facts. You want receipts for what you're putting in the work. Or you want the results. I guarantee you, you serve God, He'll bless you. I ain't a preacher. I ain't telling you to go to church. I'm saying in your daily life, do what's right, help people out, do self-service, and things will fall your way. The God recognizes that. That's why you walk by faith, not by sight. Psychological growth is promoted. Why? Because when the mind is brought under control by you, through intellect. Now it becomes so clear and psychologically complex situations such as anxiety no longer has no bearings, and other delusions which have an effect even in ordinary people can be cleared up and controlled with what? The mind and the promotion of internal harmony, allowing you, the meditator, to what? To integrate your personality and to resolve your hidden issues of the present, of childhood traumas and past lives. Get over the nonsense, move on. It's okay. It's called life. You carry it with you, but you don't wear it like a badge of honor. Well, I was raised this, I was raised. We all got dysfunctional household, dysfunctional situations we came through in life. The idea is to better yourself. You can't be responsible for your parents. None of that. You're responsible for you. I'm almost there. But so now, understand, when the mind has been brought under control through daily practice and living righteous, virtuous lifestyle, it enhances you to what? Do it. So now your expansion of your own consciousness is now going to lead you to what? Self-discovery. And that one own individual consciousness is not the total experience of consciousness. Why? You want to raise it to the level where you become one with who? God. So you know all. But the main thing in your individual, to know thyself. Through what? The correct daily practice of what? Meditation. And you, the individual, your consciousness becomes more aware and it expands to the point wherein there is a discovery that one is more than just an individual. I want to jazz right now. Why? Because I'm hoping I'm getting my point across. This is what it's all about. The state of auto-consciousness becomes reduced in favor of what? Actual experiences, being aware of your increasing levels of consciousness, awareness, even while in the sleep state. Call it lucid dreaming. In other words, there is a decrease in what? Your daydreaming time, your lapse time in memory, your fog, so to speak, as well as what? Those episodes of carrying out activities and forgetting oneself in them until they are finished. I'm still caught in that worldwide. I come here, I don't care about time. I look at that, but I don't give a damn about that. You hear me say, I got to get it in. I'm doing something. So whatever time it is, this got to be going. So perfect example. I got to get this in. Let me wrap it up. And until they are finished, driving, for example, pay attention till you get there. None of that nodding out, falling asleep. And also there is a reduced level of what? Loss of awareness, forgetfulness. Some people memories long as a mosquito thing. They can't remember what they did 5 minutes. Never mind yesterday or last week, okay? But at the end of the day, I do a little personal self-reflecting, so that keeps my mind sharp. And it's also being aware of self when doing, you ready? Doing the dream sleep. Okay? This dreamless state, the deepless sleep state. Normally, most people at the lower level don't have a clue. With your consciousness and you're unaware. Why? You become caught up in what? The swoon, the fainting effect, which occurs at the time of what? When one falls asleep. When you go to sleep, you become unconscious. Your awareness is gone. Your senses no longer in use. You just in la la land, okay? But if you were a meditator, a yogi, when you go to sleep, you go right into what? The conscious thinking. You're still aware of you in the dream state. That's lucid dreaming, okay? And where there is what? No awareness, if you're ignorant of your dreams, while in the deep sleep state, you don't have a clue. In your deepless sleep, the swooning effect causes the ordinary person to what? To lose all consciousness of their own. When you tired, you can't wait to shut it down. You can't wait to just, okay, I'm going in. I'm going to be unconscious. I'm going to sleep, okay? But a person who in meditative state of mind, they don't let that happen. They pretty much stay aware of themselves. So they get the rest, but they also get the ability to what? Continue on their thought process. That's the difference. And the waking state and your identity, and to assume what? The identity of their dream subject, again, knowing who they are while they're in the dream. And thus to what? Feel that dream subject as well as the dream world are what? Realities in oneself. Everything I think is coming from me. Everything that happens is coming from me. You can't pull nothing outside of you. That's the dream state. That's all mental. That's all between the ears. I'm going to shut it down right now. I see the clock going. Hope you got the concept. I want to get that breakdown for you. But meditation is the purpose is to get you to know thyself mentally. Understand it? Hope you got it. Right, thinkers. In closing, may you all live to be 100, may 100 minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers who start to become conscious of themselves have passed away.